Tonight, a guilty verdict in a historic murder trial. Local players soak in representing Saskatchewan at the Grey Cup. And APAS also voices their concern over foreign land ownership.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. It's a verdict Micha Pavelick's family have been waiting almost 2 decades to hear. Today, a jury found a man who cannot be named as he was a minor at the time of the incident guilty of second-degree murder. Jacob Carr has more on the decision and the reaction from Pavelick's family.
After nearly 2 days of deliberation, a 12-person jury reached a guilty verdict. And for the family of Micha Pavelick, this provides some closure.
So it's been 19 years we've been waiting, and nothing will bring Micha back. But it's nice to be able to put this behind us a little bit and move on.
Pavelick was killed in May of 2006 following a fight at a high school graduation party at a campground near Last Mountain Lake. His father says Pavelick's young life was just beginning.
He was a young man who was just finding out who he was. So his script, his life story is not written. It ended that night. So all we have is our memories.
He had a huge smile, a ton of friends. People loved Micha.
Over the course of the 3-week trial, jury members heard from more than 30 witnesses, including police officers, a medical examiner, and those who were at the party the night of Pavelick's death. Pavelick's father told CTV News that his son was, quote, no angel in that exercise, but I know for a fact that he didn't go out there to die that night. Lauren went on to say that he is glad he was able to speak with Micha one last time before his death.
I finally got to hear confirmation that I actually placed a call had been placed to me as he was dying. And I got to tell him I loved him. It was going to be okay.
Justice Catherine Dawson has scheduled the next court appearance for the accused to Thursday, November 20th at 2 p.m. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
On Tuesday, a 15-year-old was arrested by RCMP on the Muscogwan First Nation, charged with first-degree murder and the death of a teenager in Calgary. Carter Spivak Villeneuve was found dead in the early morning hours on August the 1st. On Wednesday, 2 more 15-year-olds were arrested in Calgary. The accused cannot be named under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, and investigators say their ages only adds to the troubling nature of this tragedy. A 39-year-old man has died at the Regina Correctional Center. Just after 11 o'clock on Thursday morning, an inmate was found unresponsive on a living unit at the Regina Correctional Center. EMS was called with corrections staff performing life-saving measures, but the man was declared deceased. No foul play is expected or is suspected. RCMP and Saskatchewan's Coroner Service are investigating, while the Ministry of Corrections, Policing and Public Safety will conduct its own investigation. An RCMP officer with the Maidstone Detachment has been charged following a call at a rural property near Lloydminster just about over a year and a half ago. Now, on April the 3rd, 2024, around 7:15 in the morning, a family member of a 68-year-old man called RCMP asking for them to check on a man who they believed had died. The call was dispatched to an on-call member of the detachment. Then in the afternoon at about 4:30, the relative called RCMP again to ask for an update. A few minutes later, the officer originally dispatched left the detachment. And just after 5 o'clock, another family member who went to the man's house called RCMP and told them the man was seriously injured but alive. RCMP did get on the scene shortly after the call. The man was taken to hospital where he died. The RCMP officer charged faced 1 count of breach of trust by a public officer. No other details are being released as the matter is now before the courts. And police have shut down the intersection of 9th Avenue North and McCarthy Boulevard in Regina after a 2-vehicle collision involving a garbage truck. Roads are blocked off between McIntosh Street and Courtney Street and 7th Avenue North to Rink Avenue. Details scarce right now at the moment, but we do know Jaws was involved and a few passengers were taken to hospital. We'll pass along more information as it becomes available. Sabine is on location tonight. Quite the swanky digs in there right now. You're at the show home, the main prize for the Hospitals of Regina Foundation.
Yeah, Lee, it's the grand prize show home for the Hospitals of Regina Foundation home lottery, a $1.7 million home built by Ripplinger Homes, and I have to say, I might want it. And I don't know. The only other way you can get it is if you get a ticket with the deadline, absolute final deadline tonight to purchase tickets at midnight. We'll talk more about the home coming up in about a half hour, but let's get to what the weather was looking like and how it shaped up today for the Queen City. As you can see on the radar satellite, we did see a little bit of precipitation coming through, but for southern Saskatchewan, primarily in the southwest, saw that snow coming through, especially in the Swift Current Maple Creek area. That system is expected to linger around until about late morning, early afternoon tomorrow. Could see up to about 2 centimeters of snow. But if you take a look at those current temperatures, we're still sitting nicely above seasonal. Weyburn looking a little cooler there below zero at -8, and warmer still, +3 for Moose Jaw, +4 for Regina. And those are warmer than seasonal temperatures. But like I said, I'll get into the details coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
All right, thank you very much, Sabine. Well, the weather is expected to be just as nice in Winnipeg for the Grey Cup between the Riders and the Alouettes, and that's good news for fans who are ready to take in all the festivities, and that includes places like Riderville. And that's where we find our own Donovan Mace live tonight from Winnipeg. Donovan, hi. I understand getting a ticket to Riderville is basically near impossible right now.
Well, yeah, that's because it's packed in here right now, Lee. The vibe in here is immaculate. The band is loud in behind, and yeah, everybody is here. There's a ton of fans, not just from Saskatchewan here. Every single team from across the CFL has been represented by a jersey or a hat or something in this room so far tonight. And the party is just getting started at what the festival this year is calling Canada's biggest social, and you can see behind me why that is. And this week is a big deal for Saskatchewan Rough Rider fans. It has been 12 years since the team has played in a Grey Cup, and as much as it matters to fans and it is a big deal to them, there's a handful of players on this team who may know or may know better than anyone just how much this game means to this province.
12 years ago, as a university freshman, Mitch Picton sat in the seats of Old Taylor Field as he watched his Riders win the Grey Cup in front of a home crowd.
Just seeing how excited the city gets and the fans are makes it pretty special.
Picton, along with 5 of his teammates, now wearing the same green and white they grew up loving.
Playing for the Riders, my hometown team, is a pretty special experience.
Joining the team in 2014, Saskatoon's Jorgen Hughes is the Riders' longest-serving player and is finally taking the field in his first Grey Cup.
A long time coming. Been dreaming about this day, obviously, since I was a little kid. Started playing football. To play for your home province means a lot, obviously, and then to get to this game just means so much more. We've been trying, for so many years.
General Manager Jeremy O'Day has won 2 championships with the organization, in 2007 as a player and that 2013 win as an assistant GM.
Playing it safe, Cates dodging upfield. Look at him battle.
In 07, Wes Cates ran for a first down, and that's the moment when we knew we won. I was a center, so my next couple snaps I was worried about fumbling the snap, which was very nerve-wracking.
O'Day says there are several similarities between this team and previous ones playing in the final.
Some of the 9 and 10 teams that went to the Grey Cup, I think their belief in their head coach, their want to do good for their head coach, I think that can be kind of underestimated.
And while not from the province, teammates say they want more than anything to put a ring on the fingers of the hometown boys.
The Saskatchewan guys that I kind of just saw the joy in their face after us winning the West Final and them going to the Grey Cup for the first time in the green and white, and to finish the job is really what kind of motivates me.
Since then, I mean, since being able to play football in that small town of Melfort, that's been a goal of mine, and just to be here, it's a pinch yourself moment.
Now, it's not just Saskatchewan Roughriders who are from our province who have vivid memories of Grey Cups. In fact, Sam Emilis, who's from Montreal, remembers the 2009 Grey Cup the most because that was one which made him fall in love with the game of football. Now, obviously, that game between Montreal and Saskatchewan may be a little bit of a sore spot for Rough Rider fans, but again, Sam falling in love with the game, and now he is getting ready to play in that game on Sunday in Green. Lee?
Yeah, Donovan, I remember that game in the locker room. That was a devastated Rider team for sure. Joy, though, in 2013. We'll find out what happens in 2025. Thanks, Donovan. Donovan reporting live from Winnipeg tonight. And Regina Police are reminding football fans to keep safety in mind, no matter what the outcome of the game is. Now, in the past, Regina streets have been awash with green after a Rider Grey Cup win. 2013, of course, the game was played at Mosaic Stadium. Police say even during a Grey Cup on the road, they will have an extra presence on game day to make sure everyone is making safe choices. They're also asking Rider fans not to drive impaired, be aware of their surroundings, and be respectful of people and property.
Road to the Cup, brought to you by Regina Plumbing and Heating, official partner of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
And we'll have more on the Grey Cup a little later on in the program. Saskatchewan's largest farm group is raising concern about foreign farmland ownership in the province. APAS says it is hearing reports from farmers about it happening. The group is joining the Saskatchewan NDP in calling for careful monitoring of land purchases. Wayne Mantika has more.
About 40,000 farmland transactions take place in Saskatchewan annually. Non-Canadians are prohibited from purchasing farms, but APAS is hearing reports from farmers that it is happening.
On the RM map, it gives us an indication of who owns those lands, but quite often it's just a numbered company that nobody seems to know exactly who is owning it.
It echoes what the NDP has been saying in the legislature for the past couple of weeks.
One thing for that government, that minister, to be dismissive of the opposition. But it's another thing to be dismissive of the Agricultural Producers Association of Saskatchewan, or the producers of this province. Now, of course, they sent a letter to that minister yesterday, but I don't think he read it. I don't think he got the message.
The provincial auditor recently reviewed the situation and found that the Farmland Security Board did not request statutory ownership declarations for 50% of farmland purchases tested made by corporations not registered in the province. Since 2020, 5 orders have been issued to sell farmland inappropriately purchased by foreigners.
If the president of APAS or from APAS or SARM have evidence, or the member opposite has evidence, please bring it forward to the Farmland Security Board. Let them do their job. Thank you.
APAS believes farmers would like more reassurance that the government is carefully checking farmland transactions. It believes that could be done through the regular release of the number of transactions checked and whether any violations were found. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan NDP is calling on the province to find a way to keep a Regina medical clinic operating. The Gardens Community Health Centre is slated to close in 2 weeks due to a lack of doctors. An estimated 5,000 patients could be impacted. The clinic opened in 2018 with additional government funding for expanded services. The NDP says the government has a vested interest in the clinic and should keep it running.
If I was health minister, I would look into how to make this a community clinic yesterday. Follow that model. That is a model that works. We have invested significant resources into this location. My understanding is that the reason that they don't want to stay here is because the Sask Party has created conditions of work that are not attractive. Let's change that.
The government is preparing a response to the NDP call, but considers the clinic to be a private practice. A program that provides free menstrual products in Saskatchewan schools has been renewed by Shoppers Drug Mart and the provincial government. The products are donated by Shoppers Drug Mart and have been distributed by the provincial government to more than 670 schools in the last 2.5 years. The program ensures these products are accessible to women and girls who need them. The government says this reduces stress and embarrassment, which increases students' attendance. Shoppers will donate 12 million period products during the next 3 years.
Shoppers has been, focused on women's health issues for the last 11 years, and this is clearly one that, impacts all women and something that we're very proud to support and be a part of.
All school washrooms have a sticker on the mirror telling students where menstrual products can be found. This Sunday will mark 140 years since the execution of Métis leader Louis Riel here in Regina. In alignment with the date, the long-running play, The Trial of Louis Riel, is being performed in Regina. The production team says the story has always been a tool sharing the truth of what happened. And over the years, audiences' views of the story have changed, particularly after the creation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
The truth is what the story is. And since then, it has started to grow with what I'm seeing today is a captive audience of people questioning what the truth really is about what happened to Louis Riel. And until you understand and accept that, you can't talk about reconciliation.
There are 2 public performances scheduled this weekend in Regina. It will be one of the only times the play has been performed on November 16th. Nominations open for the Regina Citizen of the Year, which is presented by CTV. The award is given each year to an individual who exemplifies excellence in community service and is making a difference. To find out how to nominate someone, guides are available on our website. The deadline to submit your nomination is Friday, December the 5th, and we will announce the winner on New Year's Eve. Still ahead, some doubt is cast on the math in the Liberal government's budget. Plus, the early release of a killer has Manitoba's premier demanding a review of the justice system. Just 3 days before MPs cast their vote on a Liberal budget, a parliamentary watchdog is throwing cold water on the government's accounting and its promise to meet its own deficit targets. Judy Trin takes a closer look at where this gap is.
There is one figure all sides agree on. Budget 2025 comes with a whopping $78 billion deficit. Parliament's budget watchdog says that digging out of the hole will be harder than the Liberal government is letting on.
We think that the definition the government's used around capital investments is overly expansive. And in particular, they've thrown some things in there, some categories of spending, which other jurisdictions in other countries would not typically include.
Under Mark Carney, the budget is split into operational costs, day-to-day expenses like the salaries of public servants, versus capital investments, such as long-term funding for major projects.
The United States has changed. That's their right. We must respond. That is our imperative. And the budget builds Canada strong by focusing on what we can control.
Despite the record deficit, the finance minister says the government will balance the operating side in 3 years and shrink the deficit to GDP ratio starting next year.
100% of our MPs opposed the costly Carney credit card budget that is going to drive up the cost of food, housing, and living.
The government's categorization of $311 billion in capital investments is significantly higher than the watchdog's number of $217 billion. It's a difference of $94 billion that the budget officer says should be added to operational costs, making it less likely for the government to balance that side of the ledger.
In fact, over the 5-year horizon, the operating budget would not be balanced at all.
The budget watchdog is recommending that independent experts determine exactly what is a capital investment, given how subjective the definition can be. As for Monday, Parliament resumes, and the public should brace for another round of confidence votes on the budget. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is calling for a review of the justice system after learning a man who killed 2 women is being released from prison. Sean Lamb has handed a 20-year sentence back in 2013. CTV's Jeff Keel has the latest.
Family members of Caroline Sinclair, Lorna Blacksmith, and Tanya Niepenak say they were blindsided by a parole board decision to release convicted killer Sean Lamb.
It's triggering. It just feels like it happened yesterday. It's unbelievable that it turned out this way.
The 66-year-old pleaded guilty to 2 counts of manslaughter for the 2012 killings of Sinclair and Blacksmith. Charges were stayed in relation to Nepenak, who has never been found. In 2013, Lamb was sentenced to 20 years. Court heard he beat Sinclair with an axe handle and weeks later strangled Blacksmith with a TV cord. But now he's been granted statutory release with conditions, which all federal inmates are eligible for under the law after serving 2/3 of their sentence. The parole board said Lamb presents a high imminent risk of violence towards a partner, while a low imminent risk of violence towards others.
I think Indigenous women are really very, very, very scared at this point.
Relatives and Indigenous leaders rallied in Winnipeg calling for change. Some want consecutive sentences mandated for multiple killings. Others want families of victims notified before someone is released. And they want to be part of the release process because they question how Lamb could be let out so soon.
I don't think this man should be walking around free after only 13 years.
The justice system is not providing any justice. They did not share any information.
MKO Grand Chief Garrison Settee was chief of Pimicikamak Cree Nation, where Lorna Blacksmith is from, when she disappeared.
I am outraged that this man is being released into society as if her life did not matter, but also the lives of the other victims.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Russia launched a large drone and missile attack on Ukraine today, killing 6 people in Kyiv. It was one of the biggest attacks on the capital so far. Ukrainian officials say most of the drones and missiles were shot down, but falling debris and fires damaging high-rise apartments, a school, a medical facility, and other buildings. The city was the focus of the attacks, but drones also struck the Black Sea city of Chornomorsk, killing 2 people. Ukraine launched a missile and drone attack on Russia oil-exporting infrastructure, as well as an oil refinery. There are multiple fatalities after a bus rammed into a group of people lined up at a bus stop in Stockholm, Sweden today.
I just feel for the victims' families. I mean, they're just waiting to get on their bus home, and then that will be the last thing. Yeah, it's just so surreal.
The incident happened during afternoon rush hour. 2 people were seriously injured, injuries were taken to hospital. And as a matter of protocol, the bus driver has been arrested and a manslaughter investigation has opened. The cause of the accident is unknown. And in the UK, the King celebrated his 77th birthday today. The monarch was in Wales for a special day, receiving birthday wishes as he attended the opening of a metro station in the southern part of the country. He also had a chance to drive a train during the visit. Earlier, the king attended a reception at a castle where he was presented with a birthday cake in the shape of the building. He later went for a walkabout, greeting some of the well-wishers that had turned out to see him. Still ahead, grain elevators aren't just a staple of Saskatchewan's landscape. They could also help project Grey Cup glory as well.
Welcome to Grey Cup weekend, everyone. Monday on your morning, the highlights or lowlights, if that's what it comes to, of this year's Grey Cup and the halftime show as your riders take on the Alouettes.
Welcome back. I am down here at 4158 Fieldstone Way. I've got Dino Sophocleous with me to talk a little bit more about the Hospitals of Regina Foundation Home Lottery Grand Prize Show Home and a little bit more about the foundation itself. Thanks for joining us, Dino.
Well, thank you for having me.
So maybe let's get right into it. Let's talk about this Grand Prize Show Home.
It's fantastic. You know, 4,400 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, a fully equipped theater room downstairs, and my favorite, a wine room. You know?
And I understand this is the highest value prize for the lottery?
It's the most valuable show home we've done in our 38-year history here.
So can you talk a little bit more about where the funds go that are raised from this lottery, Dino?
Sure. So everything we do, of course, supports our hospitals and our healthcare facilities here in Regina and for the healthcare of Southern Saskatchewan. This year, we've committed $6 million, just about. You know, cardiac, pediatrics, surgical, always our eye center, our Pascua Hospital. All of those need support and investments. We will do that with the support and help of this community, and of course, part of that will come from this lottery.
And there's many other prizes that are up for grabs with this lottery, including the 50-50, which I understand is up quite high, right?
Yes, the 50-50 is over $1 million. It's just over $1,040,000 right now. So I really look forward to giving someone a really big check, you know.
And the keys to this house, which I did say that I would love to win. But we also know that there is a deadline looming to get your tickets for these.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Midnight tonight. This is our deadline. We are done after midnight tonight, and no more tickets. We have some tickets left. We are over 90% sold already. They're going really, really fast. But if you go to hrfhomelottery.com, now is the time.
Now is the time. Hours left. I'm going to be back. I'm going to check out some of the rooms here. Dino, thank you so much for chatting with me. But let's get to the weather. I will be back in another room in the house because I think we already know what my favorite room is. Dino's got the wine room. I might be in the theater. Let's take a look outside through our Skycam. Brought to you by the Hospitals of Regina Foundation Home Lottery. Again, you heard from Dino. The deadline is tonight at midnight. So currently sitting at 3 degrees. We did warm up to about 12. And when I say we warmed up, that was our warmest at 9 a.m. And then it started to cool down from there. So currently sitting at 3 with the winds at 20 kilometers an hour. And again, I mentioned there was some snow coming through the southwest. We'll see that system continue to roll through, probably clearing out by late morning, early afternoon tomorrow. In terms of accumulation, what we can expect for the southwest right now, it is looking like anywhere between 1 to 3 centimeters of snow, primarily in the Maple Creek Swift Current area. Again, systems do have a tendency of changing, so it could be a little less than that as that system clears through. But as we take a look at that tracker for the weekend, clear conditions right through until we get into about Monday, and that's when we're going to start to see more precipitation come through in the form of rain for southern Saskatchewan. Slight chance we could see a little bit more snow come through by the end of Monday into Tuesday, but we'll talk more about that Monday. Let's take a look at what we can expect for our temperatures. So aside from the cloudier conditions expected, temperatures are still looking like they'll be above average or around average, especially for areas further north. -3 for La Ronge, -6 for La Loche, a little cooler than the seasonal. The average usually hovers anywhere between about further north, about -2 to about 0. And then we'll see 0 for Prince Albert, mainly sunny, +1 for Lloydminster. And again, we're going to continue. We'll just keep going through this map and you'll see nothing but sunshine and continuing to see hovering around 2 degrees, if not a little bit warmer in the southwest. And that story will continue as we head into what's to come for the southeast as well. So yeah, 7 and some snow there in Maple Creek, 4 for Swift Current and Moose Jaw. And then the southeast, we're going to continue to see similar temperatures, 4 for Assiniboia and Estevan and 3 degrees for Weyburn. If we take a closer look at Regina tonight, we will dip down, still warmer than the average, about -10. So -7 tonight, winds up to 40, 4 degrees and sunny tomorrow with the winds at 20. And if we take a look at the next 7 days, I said before, we're still seeing those temperatures above average. So for tomorrow, nothing but sunshine. Sunday, if you're heading out for the Santa Claus parade in Regina, 4 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, 5 and mostly cloudy on Monday, nothing but cloud on Tuesday with 3 degrees. So Monday night is when we could possibly see a little bit of snow come down about a centimeter, and then by Tuesday we could see another 1 or 2 centimeters of flurries throughout the day Tuesday. By Wednesday, 0, a mix of sun and cloud, mostly cloudy. Thursday, 0, 2 degrees, mainly sunny Friday. Lee, this next graphic I have been waiting to use. Alex, if we can switch to the next one. I know many people may be heading to Grey Cup in Winnipeg, and so what you can expect is above average temperatures still in Winnipeg as well. Well, I shouldn't say above average. They will be above 0. 2 degrees is the expected daytime high by kickoff. -1 feeling like -3, and around the time the game is expected to end, -3 with a wind chill of about -7. And great traveling conditions if you are hitting the highway tomorrow morning. Dry and sunny and above average temperatures with some pretty calm winds for most part. Lee?
The Grey Cup, that'd be great to watch in the theater at that new house too, right?
I'm going to check it out. When I come back with the rural forecast, you might see me getting settled into the theater.
Yeah, you'll probably be in there watching a movie like Weapons. All right, thanks, Sabine. From From sports bars to small community hubs, a lot of Rider fans will be watching a Grey Cup game in public, hoping to possibly celebrate later that night. But one of the biggest screens to watch all the excitement might be near QPAR. Micha Pavelick explains.
After screening the World Series on the Canwood Grain Elevator northwest of Shellbrook, this weekend, Rough Riders fan Ryan Peekikoot will be projecting the Grey Cup.
I did game 6 and 7, and it got a lot of people coming out, and it went viral that time too, and it's pretty cool.
Peekikoot says he had the idea to screen the World Series when his band booked a gig at the bar across the road.
So we had hired Black Rain to come in to play on Halloween, and Ryan messaged us asking, well, what do you think if we could put the game up on the elevator?
Peekikoot is the owner of Lonesome Pine Hill Drive-In, so he had projection equipment on hand.
I put the projector on my dash, shine it through the air, and I've got speakers for people that want to listen out, that want to sit outside there. I put them on the roof, and I have an FM transmitter too, and so people can listen to vehicles.
The temporary drive-in drew enough attention that he screened Game 7 and says about 20 cars showed up and a small crowd watched from the bar patio across the road.
We always had patio tables and chairs and whatnot, so they just jump up here and they're all watching the game from here.
After the World Series ended, Peekikoot says he started receiving messages asking him to screen the Grey Cup.
I'm from Atakakoop, and I went to school here in Canwood, and have a lot of friends from here and all that, and I've just been getting in touch with a lot of my friends and all that, and a lot of people. Like, it's just bringing people together.
He says it's still too early to tell if he'll screen more games after Sunday's big event. Micha Pavelick, CTV News, Canwood.
The CFL commissioner addresses criticism he will be Americanizing the game, saying 4 downs is not being considered. More from Grey Cup week in Winnipeg after the break.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
Well, less than 1 year in the job, hosting his first Grey Cup as league commissioner, Stuart Johnston is highlighting the current state of the CFL as well as highlighting the league's focus to build a better future. And he continues to defend sweeping rule changes that he announced earlier this year.
3 downs, 12 players, unlimited motion, 65 yards wide, and huge end zones. These rules are not going anywhere. The new rules embrace innovation and perpetual improvement while protecting what makes Canadian football special. Great season.
Yeah, basically guaranteed we won't see 4 downs. Now, according to the commissioner, the league continues to grow its reach in ratings, revenue, and attendance across the board, despite those announced changes that did draw some criticism from fans, players, coaches, and media.
Proud of. I expected a lot of debate, and that's fair. But the large majority of players, agents, and coaches I've talked to have all been supportive. Every other sport.
The CFL also announced new initiatives today, including an overhaul of its league and team websites. That is much needed, as well as the launch of a season-long fantasy football game coming in 2026. And the CFL awards were handed out in Winnipeg last night, although the Coach of the Year, for some reason, has been determined will be awarded at a later date. A couple of Rough Riders, though, they did take home some hardware.
The winner is Jamarcus Hardrick, Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Yes, Jamarcus Hardrick named the 2025 CFL's most outstanding offensive lineman. It's the first time in his 11-year career that he has received this honor, and it comes a season after he thought his career might have been over after suffering that season-ending injury in 2024.
It's because more than me is a most outstanding teammate, most outstanding wife, most outstanding fans, most outstanding support. I didn't do this alone. I had trainers who I shared videos with. They probably got tired of me. They told me I need to slow down. I just kept going, and just happy, man.
Hardrick, not the only rider to win. His teammate Logan Furland honored with the Jake Goddard Veterans Award as the player who best represents the attributes of Canada's veterans for his off-field work with several organizations, especially the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital.
I've been involved with them personally. I was also premature, born premature.
premature and shared a very special bond with a little boy named Henry Cafe, one of the families I will be thanking as well. You know, Jim Pasden Children's Hospital, very, very close to my heart. Being able to go there and just represent again our province and talk to the kids, and that's something that's really important to my heart, especially being in the NICU myself, being able to reach out to them. So that's what I would say. That's the closest one to my heart.
This is the 5th straight year a rider has won this award. It's happened 7 times overall since the award was introduced in 2010, and that is when Riders linebacker Mike McCullough won the inaugural award. As for the big awards, Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke won Most Outstanding Player and Most Outstanding Canadian, no surprise, while Lions DN Matthew Betts won Most Outstanding Defensive Player. In fact, all the awards were won by players in the West Division. And of course, you don't have to change that channel, as we have the Grey Cup game right here on CTV. The pregame show starts at noon Saskatchewan time, with kickoff set for close to maybe just after 5 p.m.
Road to the Cup, brought to you by Regina Plumbing and Heating, official partner of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
And a week after being suspended by the team for an incident at practice, Swift Current Broncos head coach Dean De Silva has resigned from his position. In a release from the team, GM Chad Leslie says it was mutually determined that in the best interest of both Dean and the organization that this would be the right path forward. A WHL disciplinary investigation found that De Silva breached the WHL standards of conduct, administering player discipline once during a game on October 24th, another at practice on October 27th. The WHL suspended De Silva for 5 games. That ended on Remembrance Day. They also fined the Broncos organization $10,000. Assistant Regan Darby will be the interim head coach until further notice. This is the... Ooh, they scored there. This is the second time in the last 3 seasons a Bronco head coach has parted ways with the team after on-ice incidents. The Broncos will host Moose Jaw tonight. Still ahead, high school students from QPAR are providing shelter for snowmobilers.
Okay, I guess I can't enjoy the popcorn just yet. We'll get to that in a second. I have moved down into the theater room here at 4158 Fieldstone Way. It's a beautiful and oh, look at that. This is just lovely. We are on TV, so this is perfect. That is awkward, but we're going to get right into what we're going to talk about. It's the rural forecast before I talk one last time about how you can get your tickets for this grand prize show home for the Hospitals of Regina Foundation Home Lottery. So if we take a look at what you can expect for the rural forecast, we're still seeing above seasonal temperatures and a lot of sunshine expected for the province tomorrow. So again, the average usually hovering around about -1 to +1, but like you can see there, the one thing I do want to point out is that, again, in the southwest, we could expect to see some snow. East End Cypress, Maple Creek, again, as of right now, looking like it could be anywhere between 1 to 3 centimeters for the Maple Creek area. And temperatures still looking quite warm, especially if we take a look at Bethune tomorrow, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. Sunny, 4 degrees, winds up to 25 kilometers an hour. So a good Saturday expected for many places. Now, the theater where I am staying, well, not staying, where I'm sitting right now would be the perfect place to also check out future Grey Cups, if you will. The house has been busy with families checking it out, so I have some friends, Arlo and Emelina, with me. I have popcorn. We're going to just nestle in maybe and see what we can watch on the big screen here for the rest of the evening. Are you guys having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I mean, how can you not? You're in the theater with popcorn. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy your weekend. Go Riders! Go Riders!
Go Riders!
Go Riders!
You forgot to mention Squirtle, Sabine. That's what Arlo was holding. Another guest. All right, students in QPAR put their building skills to good use by helping out the snowmobile community in their local area with a shelter shed. Damien Smith shows us the final product.
The snowmobiling community in the Cupar area will have one more shelter to warm up in this winter, thanks to students from Cupar School.
They stop to warm up. We have stoves inside, and we usually have barbecues outside. They can have wiener roasts. They can have, stop, get off their snow machines, and have a rest.
The shelter was transported 5 kilometers north from the school after being constructed and welded by students from grade 10 to 12. This is the 3rd shelter the school has constructed for the 180-kilometer track of snowmobile tracks.
The goal of our program here is to have them start learning the safety part of construction and welding, and then moving to a project where we can build something outside that's a little bit larger. And the scale of it here just helps us maybe transition them to something beyond high school.
It's a 4-month project where students from as far west as Southie and east as Lipton contributed to this 24 by 16-foot shelter.
We have to spend quite a bit of time in the school just working on learning the machines, learning how to handle them safely, and then coming out here, we probably work about 1/5 the pace that you would work on a construction site, just because we need to take time, show them the steps.
In a community of 600 people, approximately 50 are members of the snowmobiling community. A snowmobile rally is held every winter where about 250 people take to the tracks. Youth as young as 12 years of age can earn a snowmobiling license as well.
The trails are just basically all marked same as any other highway. They got stop signs, they got yield signs, they got curve signs. So it's just like basically following the same rules as driving down a highway. So it teaches the kids the life lessons of how to drive.
The local tracks are just a small part of the snowmobiling landscape of Saskatchewan, with the province boasting over 11,000 kilometers of tracks. Damien Smith, CTV News, Cupar.
Philanthropists from across southern Saskatchewan celebrated in Regina today. The 24th Annual National Philanthropy Day Awards recognize groups and individuals that give back to the community. Sabine, our very own, was emceeing this event. Categories included Outstanding Community, Outstanding Group, Corporate, Legacy, and Youth. And proceeds will help the Association of Fundraising Professionals South Saskatchewan chapter with funding for scholarships and workshops. Congrats to all the recipients. How about those stocks going in different directions? The TSX up 72 points, while the Dow Jones dropped by 309 points today. As for the Canadian dollar, didn't move. That's why there's no numbers underneath it. 71.31 cents US. Commodities, gold. It went 87.46 down. West Texas Intermediate crude up $1.40. Western Canadian Select crude went up as well by $1.55. So gas in Regina, has it moved at all? Nah, currently still sits most places, if not all, for $1.26.9 cents per liter. Coming up tonight after the newscast, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, followed by Special Forces, World's Toughest Test, Boston Blue, followed by Happy's Place, E-Talk, and then we'll have national news at 11:30, your local news. Saskatchewan country and western singer Coulter Wall is out with a new album.
1,800 miles from Music Road.
Memories and Empties is out now. It includes 9 original songs and 1 Ian Tyson cover. It's his 5th studio album, his first since 2023's Little Songs. A reminder, the Regina Santa Claus Parade is hitting the streets before the Grey Cup game starts on Sunday. The parade gets underway at noon, starting at Albert Street and 2nd Avenue North, proceeding north on Albert Street and finishing at one of the entrances of Northgate Mall. Of course, final float in the parade will be Santa Claus himself, who will be available for pictures at the mall from 1 to 5 p.m. Don't forget, the big game starts at 5 o'clock, a little bit after 5. A pregame show starts on CTV at noon. And if you want to set things up, Huskies against Queens in the Mitchell Bowl Saturday at 2. Have a good weekend.